a big part that I learned about Indonesia was it's very much relationships driven. So a big thing that I tried to do when we were starting was basically reaching out to people one by one and kind of building that relationship first. Like, hey, can we grab a coffee? You don't even say that you're gonna sell. Like at the beginning when we were starting, again at the time when we were starting, we were the consulting house, we were a software house. So the first thing our first pitch was not, hey, can we build an AI solution for you? Well, I don't know their problem, right? It was always like, hey, can I chat a bit more about your industry or something like that, something along those lines. So and I was generally interested in learning more about those industries. And then typically during that conversation, we would learn problems in those industries. And then from there, I could make a strategic kind of like where I'm like, oh, by the way, did you know an AI could solve that? And we can build that for you. And we can do that in like 2 months, right? And so that's, I think, a big thing that I learned, which is building the relationship is super duper important. Second thing that I learned is like meeting in person is also very important. I know, I don't know, this might or might not be true, but I know in other countries, like, you can just meet online, it's faster, you don't want to meet in person. But I think in Indonesia, because it's super relationship driven, like meeting in person, I think at least like doubles the close rate, if not more, if you actually like meet in person and like pitch and stuff like that. So that's a big thing. The third thing that I learned as well is also like prioritize sharing the ROI, the return on investment for people. Like earlier I mentioned, the fact that if you keep getting pegged to the cost, like the cost savings part of things, like it's very hard to win because the labor cost is so low. So we always look at the upside and we're like, okay, from that upside, can we take a small percentage? So for example, in our model here, we actually have a transaction value or a per success fee, basically an outcome fee, right? If someone succeeds, then if they actually check out, for example, using our AI agent without any human intervention, then we get a small percentage of that. And that incentivizes ourselves so we can keep getting our AI agent better. It also incentivizes you because then you can see that, oh, okay, like there's a clear uptick in terms of conversion rate, etc., because of our AI agent. So I think that's a big thing as well in terms of what I realized worked. And the last thing I realized that's worked is like LinkedIn campaigns, and in particular like AI LinkedIn campaigns. I think for myself, I can spot it pretty well, but I realized like the response rate is actually super high. And Chris, I mean, I owe it to you because you taught me a lot about these things. But basically, LinkedIn campaigns, I feel like people do not use it as much in Indonesia, so the open rates are still pretty high. And in particular, like AI LinkedIn campaigns, like AI personalizations, like I've literally done like some AI outreach messages where I sent it over. It's completely AI, 100%. And then the founder kind of comes to me with like a paragraph answer. And they're like, oh, thank you so much. Like, blah, blah, right? Even though like, everything was just AI generated, right? But the fact that it can do like that much personalization. And for Indonesia, like not many companies are doing that personalization. And hence there's still a huge like alpha there is a big thing, I would say.